If you are on Social Security and disability benefits, the payment increases for 2025 are coming out. The Social Security Administration is sending payments as we speak. So I'm going to confirm how much you're going to receive specifically in your Social Security and disability payments this month. And I'm also going to give you important food stamps updates, specifically how can you get more food stamps. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to talk about the 7 changes to Social Security in 2025, including how much you're going to get in your Social Security increase. I'm going to talk about 10 big changes coming to food stamps in 2025. That's going to affect pretty much everybody. And then I'm going to give you tips on how to get more food stamps. A lot of you have been complaining that you're only getting the minimum payment or you're not getting enough food stamp benefits. So I am going to help with that. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is Social Security cost of living adjustment. You may have heard that Congress passed the Social Security Fairness Act, which is going to bring $360 a month average increase in Social Security benefits for government employees that worked in the government, are getting government pension, were denied Social Security, and now Congress had made that wrong right. So about 3 million government workers are going to get a bump in their Social Security benefits. And that is why I want to talk about the COLA increase. Because while these government workers that have been approved for the Social Security Fairness Act, which essentially is money that they were owed and is now being paid back to them, they're getting about $360 increase each month and up to $1,550 for some people at the top end of that increase. And then they're going to get a lump sum of $4,320, at least $4,320, which is the $360 a month multiplied by 12, because the government is going all the way back to January 2024, retroactive, to make sure that all those people that were affected by the Social Security Fairness Act are going to get a lump sum and then an increase. So when you take all that into consideration, and then you hear that for everybody else that is on Social Security and disability benefits, you're going to get a 2.5% increase in cost of living adjustment. That makes a lot of people mad. And I agree. But here's the thing. COLA has been coming down since 2023. So if you look at 2024, it was 2.3%, 3.2%, and now it's 2.5%. Historically, 2.5% increase is about what you would get if times were normal. So the 5.9% you got in 2022, the 8.7% you got in 2023 were because of high inflation years. But here's the thing. Even though the government is saying the rate of inflation has gone down, prices have gone up and stayed up. It is not like prices went up and then came back down. Food is expensive, transportation, fuel, medicine, clothing, rent, mortgages, everything is expensive. So a 2.3% or 2.5% increase in cost of living adjustment is not what a lot of people on Social Security were looking for. But the problem is how Social Security cost of living is calculated. And the current method of calculating COLA does not really reflect the cost of living that impacts seniors and people on disability. And so some in Congress are proposing that Congress pass a new law to change how COLA is calculated. So several bills have been presented in Congress: the 2023 Fair COLA Act for seniors, or the Social Security Expansion Act. The Social Security Expansion Act would have given everybody $200 extra a month. That's $2,400 a year increase if Congress has just passed the Social Security Expansion Act. But that hasn't happened. And so here we are. So if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's continue to the 7 changes that are coming to Social Security and how much increase you're going to get this year. Let's start with the increase. If you are on Social Security retirement benefit, your increase is average of $49. So the average Social Security benefit goes from $1,927 to $1,976. If you're a couple receiving Social Security, you get a $75 increase from $3,014 to $3,089. If you're on SSDI, you get a $38 increase from $1,542 to $1,580. Now, if you're on Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI, your increase is a tiny $24. And if you're a couple that are on SSI, your increase is a tiny $35. I'm using the word tiny because these increases are barely able to buy even groceries for the week. And so the fact that this is what people are getting for the entire month, waiting an entire year and getting a $49 increase in your Social Security benefits is very crushing in an era of high inflation, or at least high prices for a lot of goods and services that have gone up and stayed up. The other change that is coming is that if you retire in 2025 at your full retirement age, the maximum Social Security benefit you can get is $4,018. Another change is how much you can make and still pay Social Security taxes. Last year, the threshold was $168,600. This year is going to be $176,100. And if you're on Social Security disability, you have to pay attention to this. There is something called a substantial gainful activity, which is how the Social Security Administration measures whether you are working enough for them to deem you disabled or not. And if you're on the trial work period, you cannot make more than $1,160 or you'll be at risk of losing your benefit. Medicare, let's talk about Medicare changes. There's a lot of changes coming to Medicare in 2025. And here is the big one. Medicare Part B deductible is going to be $185. And then a lot of you have been saying in the comments that you got a tiny Social Security COLA increase, and then Medicare increase is going to take all of it. So it feels like you've stepped back. And some of you are also getting letters that your food stamps have been cut. So you got a tiny Social Security increase, your Medicare went up and ate up all the Social Security increase, and then your food stamps are also getting cut. And so it feels like you're going backwards. So that is what's happening. And I get it. A lot of you have been in this situation or are in this situation, and it's unfortunate. That's why I thought the Congress should have passed a Social Security Expansion Act that would have given everybody $200 a month at least in increase. That would have been at least helpful in absorbing some of these price increases that seniors are facing. If you are retiring or you've retired and you retired before your full retirement age and you're still working, one of the things that's going to impact you is the earnings test. In 2025, if you make more than $23,400, every dollar you go above that, you are going to lose $2 of your Social Security benefits. I think it's the other way around. Every $2 that you go above this threshold, you're going to lose $1 of your Social Security benefit. Now, if 2025 is your full retirement age year, then you can work up to $62,160 and not lose your benefit. But for every $3 you go above that, you're going to lose $1 of your benefit. So it's more generous in your year of full retirement age. And then once you cross full retirement, you can work as much as you want, and they will not deduct from your Social Security benefit. The seventh change that's happening is that the full retirement age is also going up again. It's been going up by a year. So they've moved the law. Basically, they passed a new law to move the Social Security retirement age from 66 to 67. And over the last couple of years, it's been going up by 2 months. And now in 2025, the full retirement age is 66 and 10 months if we were born in 1959. And then next year, in 2026, the full retirement age is going to go permanently to 67 from 66 a few years ago. Why? Because the government increased the full retirement age by 1 year, and now there's talk of even increasing it to age 70 because the Social Security Trust Fund is under so much stress that there's more money being taken out of the system than money that is coming in. Now, let's talk about food stamps. But before we do that, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's talk about changes that are coming to food stamps. First, let's talk about the maximum benefit. So if you were looking for a food stamps increase, you'll be very disappointed because the increase is very tiny. For a household of one, you're going to get $292 as the maximum benefit. For a household of two, it's $536. A household of three, $768. A household of four is $975, and so on and so forth. Why is this important? Well, the maximum benefit is the amount you will get if you qualified for the maximum amount. But not everybody gets that. But it is a good measure of how much you're likely to get in benefits. And for Alaska and Guam and Hawaii and the US Virgin Islands, there are different maximum allotment benefits for those places. So if you live in Alaska, depending on whether you're in an urban or rural area, you have a different limit, and different for Guam, Hawaii, and the Virgin Islands. Now, how are SNAP benefits calculated? How can you figure out how much you're going to get? Well, you're going to take your gross income, subtract it from your net income, or take allowable deductions and arrive at your net income, and then multiply your net income by 0.3%. Now, 0.3, because that is how much the government thinks that if you're low income, you should be spending on food. And then when you take that amount, you then deduct it from the maximum for your household. So, for example, for a household of four, if your net income is $1,056.50, you multiply that by 0.3, you get 317. And then you take the maximum benefit for a household of four, which is 975. You minus the 317, whatever is left is how much SNAP benefit you qualify for. So that is the fastest way to figure out how much in SNAP benefit you are likely to get. So let's talk about gross income. For a family of one is 1,632. For a family of two is 2,215. For a family of three is 2,798. For a family of four is $3,380, and so forth. That is the amount of money you have to make, the threshold, the maximum for your household size to be eligible for food stamps. But there's also a net income limit. And the net income limit is 100% of the federal poverty level. And that is 1,255 for a household of one, 2,600 for a household of four. And it's different for Hawaii and Alaska. And it's also different for a household with seniors and people on disability. Their threshold is much higher. The next change in food stamps in 2025 is the asset limit. For everybody else, it's $3,000. It means you can have bank accounts, savings accounts, and all these things up to $3,000 to qualify for SNAP. For seniors and household with people on disability, is $4,500. Now, the next change is the minimum amount. This is where a lot of people get upset because if you qualify for food stamps, the minimum you can get is $23. And this is where a lot of seniors find themselves because they make too much money from their Social Security benefits to qualify for a lot of food stamps. And so seniors are frustrated that they only get $23. Some seniors, I should say. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can get more food stamps, what you need to do to increase. If you're only getting $23, if you're only getting $50, I'm going to show you techniques. Stay till the end of this video to hear these tips on how you can get more food stamps for yourself. And then tip number 5, in 2025, your maximum deductions have also been increased. For a household of one is $204. For a household of four is $217, and so forth and so forth. And it's also different for Alaska, it's different for Guam, it's different for Hawaii and the US Virgin Islands. And there's excess shelter deductions that are taken out to arrive at your food stamps amount. And here they are for the 48 states and District of Columbia, Alaska, Guam, Hawaii, and the US Virgin Islands. And if you are homeless, there's also a homeless shelter deductions that you need to pay attention to. Number 6, work requirements. SNAP work requirements are still there. There's a lot of myth and misconception that people who are on SNAP don't work, but that's not true. You have to work to get food stamps unless you are exempted, and the list of exemptions are very, very strict. So you have to register for work. You cannot voluntarily quit the work that you have. You have to take a job if offered, or you have to participate in an employment and training program that is designed for SNAP recipients. And if you're an able bodied adult without dependents, there are extra work requirements that you need to meet to be able to get SNAP benefits for more than 3 months in any given 3 years. So it is not a walk in the park. You have to meet these requirements, otherwise, your SNAP benefits will be taken away. And these are the exemptions: children, seniors, veterans, individuals experiencing homelessness, etc., pregnant women. These are very, very limited exemptions. Everybody else has to work to get SNAP. And if you're an adult without dependents, there's extra work requirements that you must meet in order to continue to get SNAP benefits. Otherwise, you can only get SNAP for 3 months maximum in any given 3-year period. So this idea that people who don't work and don't have dependents are just getting SNAP benefits all the time, it is not true. After 3 months, they're going to cut you off unless you're working or participating in an approved work program. Summer EBT is another thing that is coming that I'm excited about. If you don't know this, if you have a child or you know somebody that does, Summer EBT is here. It gives each child $40 a month for groceries, for food, for the 3 months during the summer. So each child gets $120 the entire summer. So if you have 1 or 2 kids or 3 kids, that's $360 in EBT money that you're going to get to buy food for them during the summer. To be eligible, you have to participate in the school lunch program or the school breakfast program, or you have to be financially eligible and meet the income requirements. This is going to impact 29 million children across America. It's a big, big deal and growing. So this is an exciting program that is now permanent and is going to be here every year because it was tested during the pandemic and it worked so well that now it's been made a permanent program. Number 8, food stamp fraud. A lot of people have been impacted by this. People are losing their food stamps because fraudsters have been skimming their cards and taking away their money. Well, states are going to start issuing chip cards, chip EBT card that is going to help you fight food stamp fraud. So I'm very, very excited about this because this is a long time coming. Every time you turn on the news, there is somebody or some state that has been victimized by food stamp fraudsters. And I've listed a lot of them here. You can see every day you turn around, a state is issuing an alert about food stamp fraud. So this is exciting news that is coming. Number 9, the Harvest Box. Trump is about to be inaugurated, and the Harvest Box is making a comeback. Trump wanted to do this while he was in office. Basically, he's going to take away food stamps where you have the ability to use your EBT card to buy food, and he's going to replace it with a box of food that the government is going to pick and send to you every month. You heard that right. And don't come after me. I'm just reporting the news. Google it. The Harvest Box is a thing that Trump wants to implement. It's part of the whole package of things that the Republicans are trying to push through Congress once Trump is inaugurated. It's going to be one of the first bills they're going to do to try to take away your food stamps and replace it with the Harvest Box. And I know a lot of you get bent out of shape about things like this, but all you have to do is Google it, and then you'll find the news sources that are reporting this, and you'll find that they are very credible news sources that are reporting this as one of the things that they are considering, because they want to extend the Trump tax cuts. The tax cuts that went disproportionately to the rich, they want to extend that permanently. Well, they have to find money somewhere. And where they usually like to look is programs for the poor. That is just how it's been. And that's what's about to happen. Just pay attention to the news, pay attention to Congress, and look at the first 100 days of the Trump administration and see what programs they target. It's going to be food stamps, it's going to be TANF, it's going to be, you know, um, energy assistance, rent assistance, Medicaid. Those are the programs that they like to target because the poor do not have advocates that are going to Congress and advocating for them. So it's easy to chop those things up because they don't have powerful voices that are advocating to keep those programs. So, yes, the Harvest Box is a thing. And then let's look at SNAP benefits. So, currently, the Harvest Box is in the mix, but a lot of retailers are not happy about it because it's going to cut into their profits. Walmart and Kroger have been very vocal about it. But the Farm Bill is being negotiated, and that is what food stamps is included in. And the Republicans have the entire government. So who knows what's going to happen? Let's all pay attention to that. So is food stamps going to be cut? I think so. Governor of Arkansas is proposing that food stamps, people on food stamps should stop buying junk food. Now, my argument to that is that there's research that has shown that people on food stamps do not buy junk food any more than the regular population. But for some reason, every time politicians want to talk about food stamps, they want to tell you what you can buy and what you should buy. Do I think food stamps should be spent on junk food? I think if people have access to healthy food, affordable, healthy food, they'll buy it. The problem is that if you're getting $60 in food stamps or $100 in food stamps, telling you to go buy all the healthy food is not going to give you a lot of food because healthy food is expensive. And so some people buy food that may not necessarily be the healthiest, sometimes out of necessity. So if you want them to buy healthy food, increase the food stamps, and then they will do it. I think most people, when presented with the option of buying healthy food that they can afford, they will choose to do it. So I'm going on a tangent, but this kind of things irks me because I think it's easy to say people on food stamps should not buy junk food. But the other side of the story is that some of the food people buy is out of necessity because that's what they can afford. Now, let's talk about how to get more food stamps because I promised you that. So, especially seniors, some of you have been saying you're only getting $23. Well, here are things that you can do because there's been recent changes that make it easy for you to apply for food stamps. The income limit for food stamps is higher for seniors, so more of you can qualify. But here's the thing. Only 50% of seniors that qualify for food stamps actually apply. Why? Several reasons. I think part of it is shame. Part of it is that seniors feel that if they apply for food stamps, they are taking benefits away from people who need it. That is not true because food stamps is one of the programs where if you apply and you're eligible, you're going to get it. So, how do you get more money? Well, you have to pay attention to your deductions. So, medical expense deductions, all those things you have to pay attention to. So, income limit for seniors is higher than the general population. For a household of one, if you're in the general population, your income limit is 1,632. If you're a senior, it's 2,071. So it's much higher. If you're a family of two, in the general population, your income limit is $2,215. For a senior, it's $2,811. So the rules are more generous for seniors. As you can see here, this is income limit, gross income limit for the regular population and income limit for the senior population, senior and people in household with disability. So if you're a senior and you haven't applied and you need food assistance, food stamps has a more generous income limit and it allows a lot more seniors to qualify because the threshold, the income limit is higher. So more people can fit in. So how do you get more food stamps? Well, you have to get your deductions. So things like prescription medications, doctor visits, medical equipment, health insurance premiums, gather all your receipts for all those things and then get help. And if you are denied, you can request an appeal. You can file an appeal within 90 days of applying, and they will review your application and see if they've, one, correctly denied you the benefit, and two, taken all the deductions that need to be taken. And you can then get help. There are many, many organizations that will help you apply for food stamps, answer your questions, help you with the application, explain your benefits, and guide you through the entire process. And this includes a lot of food banks, senior centers, AARP offices, etc. So here are the deductions that you need to pay attention to and prepare when you go to your food stamps office, either to apply or ask them to review your application and make sure that it was determined correctly. The first one is medical expenses, doctor visits, prescription drugs, medical equipment. The second one is housing, rent, property taxes, utilities. The third one is caregiving expenses if applicable to you. All these, gather the receipts, take it to your caseworker, and have them review your food stamp application. And if you need help, talk to your SNAP office. So gather your bills, rent, medication, medical bills, utilities, and ask your local SNAP office to review your benefit if you think you're getting the minimum and you should be getting more. So go to the food bank, they can help you. Go to the legal aid office, they can help you. Your local SNAP office or local nonprofit organizations that help with food security. These are all organizations that are there that can help you get more food stamps. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And there are other nutrition programs that you can take advantage of as a senior. The Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program gives you vouchers to buy fruits and vegetables. And then there's the Community Supplemental Food Program, where you get a box of food every month of staples like grain, canned vegetables, and dairy products to help you supplement your nutrition. And then the Double Up Food Box, which doubles your fruits and vegetable purchases in 900 locations across the country. So if you're interested, go to doubleupamerica.org. So let me know what you're gonna do. Are you gonna get your food stamp application reviewed again? Are you gonna apply because you've been sitting on the sidelines because you think food stamps application is gonna take away benefits from other people? Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't. If you're eligible, you're gonna get the money. So apply. Let me know what you're gonna do, whether you're gonna get your application reviewed, whether you're gonna appeal your application, or whether you're gonna apply if you haven't done so. So that's all I have for you today. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until I see you in my next video, thank you for watching this video. Share it with somebody that you know needs it, and I will see you soon.